Hello and welcome back. Let's jump right in. Oh, did it double click again? It does sometimes.
Repario Arcanum.
No magic here. I guess we should start in the prayer room because they said to do that. I'm burning the calories just stressing over this story. Yeah, this story is intense. You arrive at the prayer room. It's now swarming with knights from the Inquisition. You find yourself staring at the chalk outline where Pierce's body once was. You can't help but feel a little uneasy. You've been to plenty of crime scenes before, but even if you were unconscious, you were here when the murder happened. It's a little unnerving knowing how close you came to death. I haven't eaten, I've got food in front of me, but it's not long come out of the air. Ah, okay, gotta wait a little, but then can have nom-noms. The nom-noms were prepared, they just need to cool down a little. I kind of have a dislike of air fryers, mostly because of the name. Like, the concept is fine, their function is fine, it's just, it's not frying. It just isn't. It's not frying. To consume. No, wait till the hot nom-noms are a little less hot. Little less hot tater tot. And then consume, otherwise you'll burn your tongue. But yeah, they're like super, like they're superior hot ovens. I'm not complaining, it's better than the crappy oven we have. Like, it is a really, like, it can heat stuff up to a very high temperature really quickly. And this is good, but it's not frying. Not the same. It's a good marketing strategy. I just dislike the name. It's misleading. But burning the tongue is much needed. No, it isn't. Don't burn the tongue. Although I do agree, some foods need to be piping hot to be eaten, but they don't need to be like burning your tongue hot. They need to be just under it. Like, take out Chinese food. That needs to be hot. That's a requirement. They should rebrand them as air warmers. They're ultra ovens, is what they are. Like, they're ultra hot air ovens, because usually an oven takes like a while to heat up, but air fryers are actually super efficient with it. They're a smaller fan forced oven. Yeah, they're the ultimate fan oven. Isn't that Luna? I'm an air warmer? Are you okay? Yeah. But now's not the time for an existential crisis. Steelwind's future counts on you figuring out what happened. You still don't know what happened after you fell unconscious. The Inquisition believes that Steelwind broke into this room, knocked you out and Pierce out, and then killed him. But you remember it clearly. You saw Beatrice before you lost consciousness. There's more at play here than you realize. Celeste also fought Steelwind after Beatrice knocked you out. Perhaps she can tell you more about how she was acting. Let's review what happened. Before Beatrice knocked me out, we heard a commotion outside and you went to investigate. Luna's an air cutter. Oh, an air cuter. Everything's just cute. No! Nee. Can you tell me more about your fight with Steelwind? What was she like? Well, she wasn't her usual self. It's like she was in some kind of daze. I noticed it even before she attacked me. Something was wrong with her. Oh yeah, and she didn't even respond to me when I tried to talk to her. It's like she didn't even recognize me. But from what Lord... what was it again? Clepia said, she would be acting more erratically if she was affected by Mage Blight. It's possible that you found someone disguised as her. I guess that's possible. But whoever they were, their magic was still extremely powerful. And several members of 4 pillar families were assembled here. It could have been one of them. We should speak with Commander White when we get the chance. The Grand Cathedral was closed from the public for whatever was happening here. They probably have a list of everyone who was present when the murders happened. This means that whoever did it was one of the nobles that was here today. I think it was Beatrice, but not because Beatrice wanted it, but because Beatrice was commanded to do so. Beatrice can cast invisibility, so I doubt she'd let you see her. But did you see her at any point when you were fighting Steelwind? Celeste? Sorry, I don't know. I was too focused on staying alive. I've actually been meaning to ask you about that. Aren't you really strong? I've never even seen you break a sweat in a fight before. Well, she was really tough. It was terrifying, honestly. It was mainly her magic. I've never fought someone with spells that powerful before. She didn't hurt you, did she? No, but it got pretty close. I think she realized that she couldn't beat me, so she just ran past me and into the prayer room. So her real target was Pierce. But why? Did you see the moment she murdered Pierce? No. When I arrived at the prayer room, I saw you and Steelwind unconscious on the ground. And Pierce was already dead. And I'm assuming you didn't see Beatrice anywhere. No, she wasn't there when I arrived. Or did she leave the prayer room without Celeste noticing? I mean, she might have cast invisibility if Celeste didn't cast detect magic. She could have just slipped out. Could be Eris or whatever names just Sky. I don't think it would be Eris herself. I think Eris would be using Beatrice because Beatrice called her soul, like, lost her soul in the contract. Did she turn herself invisible? We showed up at the prayer room for the meeting at 1:50 PM. Then we interrogated Pierce for about half an hour. That's when we heard that commotion outside, and you went to investigate it. Right. And I think Beatrice knocked me and Pierce out 10 minutes after that. How long did you fight Steelwind before she pushed past you? We definitely fought for a while. It must have been at least 20 minutes. After that, she gave up on fighting me and ran into the prayer room. Which means that Beatrice somehow got into the room during your fight. That discounts my theory of her disguising herself as Steelwind. Okay, so it's not Beatrice. You regained consciousness at 3:12 PM. That means that you were knocked out for more than 40 minutes. Or it was technically Steelwind's body, but she was being mind controlled. There are still a lot of unknowns about what happened. You'll need all the pieces if you want to put this puzzle together. The lantern is hanging around the room. They're still lit. They're pretty. 3 stained glass windows. They look quite nice. There's a chalk outline where Pierce's body probably was. It looks like he was sitting against this altar when he died, and the bloodstains seem to imply that the fatal wound came from his chest. An autopsy report would be really helpful here. You should ask the commander for a copy of the next time you see him. No, she was found unconscious in the same room. No, Pierce died, and Steelwind apparently entered this room, and then after Celeste entered this room, she found Steelwind and me unconscious and Pierce dead.
Prepario Arcanum.
Oh, a lot is going on. There are traces of conjuration magic all over the room. That must have been left by Beatrice's sleep spell. Oh, there's a trace of transmutation here. It's all over the area around his body. Interesting. Did the murderer wound him using a transmutation spell? There's a trace of necromancy on the ground here. It is probably from when I tried to heal you. Okay, interesting. Anyways, it looks like you found everything you can here. You should move and take a closer look at all their crime scenes. Before we do, hey, thoughts on Eris? Thoughts on Steelwind? I know Steelwind would never do something like this, but I saw her. Even if she wasn't her usual self, her attacks were definitely real. I don't know what to believe anymore. All the more reason for us to get to the bottom of this. Steelwind probably would be a very powerful fighter, considering she's a Steelwind and they are, like, the fighters. Unfortunately, we were unconscious. I would have wanted to see Celeste and Steelwind fight. But the last budget is... yeah, it would have been really cool, but that would be way out of the budget of this game. Any thoughts on me? Are you sure you're okay? Yeah, I'm only a little drowsy from that sleep spell. You shouldn't push yourself if you feel tired. I'm sure the Kingsguard are fully capable of investigating what happened. She has a point, but considering who the victims were, whoever orchestrated this must be high in the political hierarchy. Any of the nobles here could have done this. The only person you can trust now is Celeste. Hey, thoughts on Ruby? No, nothing right now. Orin? No? I can't believe after everything he did, Pierce is just gone. I'm sorry we couldn't get the answers you were looking for. Hopefully, something else turns up. I honestly don't care about that anymore. I'm just glad you're alive and safe. Aww. She does have her priorities straight. I don't think she has anything new to say about anyone. Hello, Genoxis. It's good to see you. Also, I'm not cute. How dare. Celeste's Bane must be protect. Yeah, she must be protect, but she can protect herself. She's the one protect us. Can we talk to Steelwind? Speak with Steelwind, but you can't find her anywhere. Inquisition and the Kingsguard must still be processing her. You should come back later. Okay. Oh. Oh, the room. That's definitely the... I'm not... No. To be fair, Celeste can hold her own in a fight with damn near anyone. Yeah, Celeste is... Like, even Lucio Steelwind. The Lucio Steelwind is like, yeah, I respect you as a fighter. No, I think she could probably hold her own against Lord Steelwind. I think... Maybe not forever, but I think she could... I think it might have actually been the real Arya she fought against. That's why she was so strong. Because, I mean, she's a Steelwind, which means she's from the fighter branch. And looking at her dad, he definitely taught her how to fight. But I think she was being, like, controlled, like sleepwalking. Something weird. I hate Baldur's Gate 3. It's already absorbing most of my day. I'm convinced there is a higher level of lifesteal curse in the game. How's everyone doing? I have a lot of friends that are also playing Baldur's Gate 3. The dude carries a 40 kilogram Giga axe for the fun of it. It's just how he is. And I think he really does care for his daughter, and his way of caring for his daughter is teaching her how to kill from a very young age. But yeah, I've been considering maybe getting it, but also I want to finish Divinity Original Sin 2 first. I feel like I'm obligated to do that, and I also have Persona. And also it's an expensive game, and also, yeah. Maybe his age is a bit too high. Yeah, he's very old. But I mean, he's kept in form, I guess, in shape. But yeah, the game seems very fun. I was half considering like getting it and playing it on stream, but I believe everyone is playing it. And also, money. And also I have many other games to play. You did trace your footsteps and find the common room. This was the last place you saw Von Sanctus and Sybil before everything happened. He has farmer strength, stuff that doesn't go away with age. More like he has military strength. Yeah, everyone and their mother is playing it right now. I mean, a lot of people look very like forward towards this game a lot. So, it is understandable. You look around and see that most of the room has been entirely scorched. You can still smell the scent of burnt cloth and flesh in the air. Ooh, the smell of burnt flesh is bad. Strength maybe, but stamina just declines. Yeah, eventually, like... Wasn't into kitchen sushi. Yeah, eventually the body just gives way. Apparently, like after 80 something, it starts declining pretty fast. At least according to my grandparents. What happened here? Fire. Was there some kind of fire? Probably. Yeah, we think the purple lit a fire using magic. As you enter the room, Commander White approaches you. Please, give Commander White some redemption. Let him be like... you know, competent. Smell of bacon. Bacon isn't burnt though. Like... burnt flesh smell. It would be burnt bacon. Burnt flesh. He seems to be accompanied by the typical Legion of Knights. Commander White. Hey kid. You investigating what happened too? Something like that. We just want to figure out what really happened. I like my bacon crispy. You and me both. Nothing about this case makes any damned sense. I'll be honest, I could really use your help in trying to figure this out. Aww. Honestly, you're not sure who you can trust at this point. But the commander is leading the investigation. And he's bound to have information that will be useful to you. I think the commander... Like, unless someone is playing him, I think he's trustworthy. I hope you like your Noble's crispy too. Von Sanctus seems to be quite well done. Yeah... He's not really that appetizing. I think I'll pass. This whole situation is a damned mess. Has the Inquisition found any clues to explain what happened? We only have the basic stuff so far, and we've only just received the autopsy reports. It's a bit too well done for me. Not still pretty useful. Do you have copies of them? Sure, knock yourselves out. Calms of Dent was bloodloads. A shard of frozen liquids was found stabbed through his heart. It's very likely this was the murder weapon. Oh, they murdered him the way he murdered someone else. Were they gonna try and frame Celeste? With that one? I like my nobles rare. No. Suffocation. A bottle was found floating nearby a lake outside of the Grand Cathedral. Traces of transmutation, evocation, and necromancy magic were found in her body. Yikes. Liquid shape spell. Yeah, that is exactly how he murdered Celeste's dad. I hope they're not gonna try and blame Celeste for this. I mean, I don't think it was her. Died at 2:05 p.m. The cause of death was suffocation. The fire in the common room burned the body too much to discern any specific wounds that he might have suffered. However, a small trace of evocation magic and a burn mark were found on the victim's left shoulder. This implies the body was hit with a fire-based evocation spell. Traces of abjuration magic were found on and around the body. Okay, I mean, I guess I was thinking, like, what if all the nobles were murdered in a way that they murdered someone? But I guess finding a vat of magic to, like, dunk him into would have been a little difficult. Celeste doesn't know any fire spells, does she? I don't know. Celeste knows a lot of spells. She's been learning them, like, left and right. But I don't think it would be her. Wait. Pierce was killed with a frozen blade? Isn't that similar to how he killed Flintheart? Sorry, I didn't mean to... No, it's okay. It's still strange though. Why would the murderer kill Pierce using such a convoluted method? If Steelwind really was affected by Mage Blight, she wouldn't have done something like that. Why would the murderer do something when they clearly had more lethal spells at their disposal? Pierce used this method during Flintheart's murder to leave as little evidence as possible. However, it's clear the murderer wants to frame Arya and leave as much evidence as possible. Now, Von Sanctus one fits too. The body was destroyed. Yeah, I guess in that way. And we don't know what Sibel did, but he was air fried. Oh no, it was the air fryer all along. Anyways, the times of that also seem to tell a story. If you look at the reports, the murderer must have killed Von Sanctus, then Sibel, then Pierce, in that order. Yeah, that's our working theory too. If you look at this map, you can see where the prayer room and the common rooms are. Lady Sibel's body was found in the lake west of here. But since the Grand Cathedral was built on the cliff, there isn't an easy way to get there in such a short amount of time. Except dumping her off the cliff. I don't think I know you, but I'm sure you killed someone. I mean, she's a noble with, like... She's the noble that made the justice system just by her lack of by the fact that the system is corrupt. That's a lot of people. Hello, welcome raiders. Thank you so much for the raid. What were you doing? Let me give you a shout out. You were playing My Time at Sandrock. I have no clue what that game is, but I hope you had a good time. Welcome. Take these sleep. Welcome, welcome everyone. My name is Luna. I am a variety streamer, though I tend to gravitate towards strategy games. This is more like a detective. If you know Ace Attorney, this is that, but then with magic. And colony simulators. It's like a builder life sim. Ooh, that sounds cool. That sounds fun. That sounds like something I'd like to play. We just saw a man get air fried. Well, we didn't see a man get air fried, but we saw the aftermath of a man getting air fried. Don't teach them. I'm not cute. But thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate it. If you have to raid and run, I understand. But if you can stick around a little and yeah, tell me how things went. I'd love to hear. My time at Porsche was the first one. Oh, I think I heard that name before. I'm not familiar with either of those games, but that, yeah, seems cool. Seems like something I should look into if I remember. I have very short-term memory, but I really appreciate it. Yeah, let's get back to things because we have several murders to solve. We had a 3-for-1. So that raises my next question. How did Sybil's body end up in the lake? Well, she was pushed. Murderer threw Sybil from the balcony. The Grand Cathedral was built on a cliff over the lake, and the westward balcony just happened to be right over it. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. We even have a witness who saw Steelwind there. Really? Who was it? It was High Speaker Theon Arceus. Oh damn, we haven't met him yet. High Speaker? He's the short caller of the Church of Bahamut. And he stands at the top of the religious hierarchy from what I hear. He spotted Steelwind near the west balcony and noticed that she was acting suspiciously. He called out to her, but she ignored him. So she knew that he saw her, but she didn't attack him. Sybil was short-lived. Yeah, we only saw Sybil for a short amount of time, but she very quickly made herself very unlikable. With total disregard of just people living in a fair justice system. The justice system in this world is kind of messed up. Yeah, he really lucked out. But if she was having a psychotic episode, he would have noticed that. From what you said, all she did was ignore him. You're right, this whole Mage Blight story doesn't really add up. Mage Blight is something that happens in this world when a mage overuses their magic and they go into basically a extremely paranoid psychotic frenzy, which often ends up in people being killed. Currently, the prosecutor in this game, Steelwind, Arya Steelwind, is being suspected of doing this, but we're calling bull and we don't think she was actually it. And then she died doing what she loved, swimming. Well, more like failing to swim. She drowned. Either way, we'll just have to talk to him directly to find out more. I go pop some tea. Still too warm though to drink. Current suspect is the daughter of one of the major noble families. Yes. Putting that aside, there's something else that's strange. What's that? It's about the order that the murders occurred in. What's strange about the order? Murder killed Von Sanctus, Sybil, and Pierce in that order. That means that the murder went to the common room, then the west balcony, and then finally the prayer room. But if we look at the map, the murderer's route seems to be a bit strange. The murderer... Okay, hold up, I need to look at the map. So, hold up. They went from the balcony to the common room and then to the prayer room. It would have made more sense to go from the balcony to the prayer room. The murderer could have killed Pierce. Could have killed Pierce second. Is that what they're trying to say? The murderer must have passed right by the prayer room before they dumped Sybil's body. Why wouldn't they just murder Pierce on the way there? Maybe they wanted to dump Sybil's body first. Or they were afraid of fighting me. Aren't you giving yourself a little too much credit? No, she has a point. Out of everyone who fought the murderer, Celeste was the only one who didn't die or fall comatose. Anyways, there has to be a reason why the murderer deliberately chose that route. He's all smug. He's like, wait. Celeste is not to be messed with. She is very strong. Okay, you've created a rough outline of the murderer's actions, but the real clues will lie in how each of the individual murders occurred. And that starts with figuring out how Von Sanctus was murdered. Well, fire was definitely involved. Even now, the sunlight is shining through the stained glass windows. It looks like the fire reached them before it was put out. There's a chalk outline in the center of the room. This must be where they found Von Sanctus' body. There's even bits of ash there. It must be the burned fragments of the body. There's scorch marks all over the room. Fire must have spread pretty far. Yeah, it was probably going for a while. No one even noticed it until Prince Alaric told the Kingsguard that he saw smoke. Interesting. We should speak with him and see if he saw anything else. For newcomers, Celeste is so scary strong that she scared the equivalent of the map. Yeah, she scared like a room full of like flipping just thugs and hitmen. They were like, no, we're not fighting her. She's that's the Red Demon, isn't she? She doesn't like that nickname though.
Arcanum.
Oh, several spots. There's a trace of evocation magic near the body. That matches the autopsy report. The murderer must have hit him with an evocation spell. There are traces of evocation magic in a bunch of different spots around the room. We think the perp threw a bunch of fire-based evocation spells around to start the fire. To be fair, if you were called a demon, you probably wouldn't like it either. True, but as a mercenary, it's kind of a good calling card. She may or may not be the reason why literal demon girl isn't just kidnapping us. Yeah. And the Kingsguard used a bunch of water-based evocation spells to put it out before the fire spread. That makes sense. With that knowledge in mind, there's nothing out of the ordinary here. And then there's also this white spot. There's a trace of abjuration magic in the center of the room. Do the traces overlap with the body? Kind of. It's sort of square-shaped? Square-shaped. I can't see the traces, but there also seems to be a square-shaped outline around the body. I do feel better now I have eaten breakfast. I'm glad to hear it. Wait, hold up. Breakfast? I thought you said lunch. Didn't you eat yet? You're right. They overlap perfectly. The area inside the square is a lot less burned now that I look at it. I'm not sure what this means yet, but it's definitely worth taking note. Oh no. It said in the autopsy, didn't it say he suffocated? What if they trapped him inside like a box and like had him suffocate in there? As a mercenary, I would love the nickname. Yeah, as a mercenary. A block of water? Maybe. I was just thinking like some kind of magic cube, but who knows? It was a meal that broke the fast. Wait, did you purposely fast or do you just mean like I didn't eat until morning in a fancy way? How did the Inquisition find out about the murders anyway? Did a witness come across the bodies? It all started when Prince Alaric ran up to us. He told us that he saw a fire breaking out in the common room. He also saw Steelwind there, but when he tried to talk to her, she hit him with some kind of spell. She attacked one of the princes? Noon at breakfast is the words break and fast, but oh, I get it now. I'm off to bed. I hope the rest of the stream goes awesome. Thank you very much. Have a good night, and thank you, like, once again for the raid. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, but it didn't look like she hurt him. Night-night. The guy from House Asclepius inspected him, and he told us he wasn't injured. I'm glad that he's okay, but wouldn't Arya have used a more violent spell? She was being affected by Mage Blight? It's possible she was throwing spells randomly, and she just happened to and he just happened to get really lucky. I suppose that's possible, but was there anyone else nearby when this happened? I would have expected the Prince of Wivengard to be on the constant guard. Hello, I'm here to replace the fellow that just left. A tap-in, tap-out system. Hello, Will. It's good to see you. I hope you're well. Yeah, that was kind of my mistake. Ooh, or ooh, that's no good. If Sanctus was drowned, it would leave water in his lung. He was suffocated, not drowned. Good, we can't be the... Gosh, dang it, Thomas, don't... No! There. I ordered the knights to give him some space considering what just happened. And that would be... Sorry, kid. If you don't know, it's not my place to tell you. Something is going on, like something happened in this church today that nobody is allowed to know for. But also, Orem, buddy, pal. You are... I hope nobody else knows, because you're going to lose your job. Or at least your retirement plan. Could be better, but I'm not dead or homeless yet, so those are both small victories. I even had lunch just now, really living it up. Hey, it's something. I'm glad you're okay-ish, sort of, vaguely. I have orders from the top to stay quiet about that. Then it looks like you'll need to ask someone higher up. It's still strange though. Why are all these nobles gathered here? Anyways, whatever the perp hit him with, only put him in a daze. He could barely walk or talk. He couldn't even approach us until the spell had worn off. But yeah, for lunch. Well, also gotta go. You'll have fun. Bye-bye, Shadow. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you had fun. Take care. And the weirdest about it all is that he was pretty close to where we were. But for some reason, we didn't find him until after the spell wore off. Was he also made invisible? That must have been traumatic. I hope he's okay. Why didn't anyone see him during this time? Invisibility? After you told us about what was happening, we went to put out the fires. That's when we saw a bunch of guards knocked out outside the prayer room. Did you see me? No, this all happened around 3:10 PM. Right, that was probably well after Steelwind moved into the prayer room. Celeste must have already followed her into it. That's weird. When you arrested Steelwind, I recall you mentioning that a bunch of guards were comatose. Did the murderer use some kind of spell to knock him out? I don't think so, and I'm just as lost as you are about that. Some of the victims didn't have any magical traces on them, so we know that they're not under the effects of a spell, but they still haven't woken up. Okay, definitely some demon stuff going on. Like, we know Eris is involved in some way. Not a spell if you understand them. Yeah, they can't trace demonic magic, nor can they trace celestial magic, seeing as they can't trace the Eyes of Horus. I've also gone back into attempting to make this old Minecraft mod I've tried to make several times in the past. I don't even enjoy contemporary Minecraft. This is just one of those things that won't be expelled from my brain until I do it. Context be damned. Well, I hope you succeed. Ah, I got a good old smack upside the head. I think a little more than that happened. She's something worse than a demon. She's bad. She bad. She not good. Do we know what happens if Eris were to nick someone's soul while they are still alive? No clue. We don't know if she can do that, but Eris is bad news. That we do know. That's all to say the least. Is there any common thread between the knights who fell comatose? That might help us deduce what happened to them. Well, we found all the locations where Steelwind was spotted. That can't be a coincidence. But he just admitted that they weren't being affected by any kind of spell. What's going on here? Maybe they saw Eris' true form and just... mentally dipped. Commander Wipe, you keep saying the perp instead of Steelwind, even though everyone else seems to think she was responsible for this. Do you also suspect that she's being framed? I tend to use the stream as a background noise while I work, partly to keep me from going back to bed. Well, I hope I'll be good background noise whilst I vaguely attempt to voice act. It just doesn't add up. If she did give herself my age blight, her actions wouldn't have been so deliberate. And she's definitely not the type of person to just go around murdering people. I mean, given everyone else's reaction to seeing what Eris truly is, he'd probably pass out too, yeah. Even if she's led a lot of Inquisition investigations recently. She's investigated plenty of homicides with us, and she knows exactly how we do things. Whoever did this got the job done, but they were sloppy about it. A bunch of witnesses saw her, and she didn't even try to hide herself using her magic. So either she had Mage Blight, which doesn't match with her behavior, or she did it intentionally and wanted to get caught. Neither scenario makes any damn sense. Someone has to be framing her. That's the only reasonable explanation. Honestly, I'm not so sure about that either. What do you mean? You saw her when we arrested her, didn't you? She wanted us to lock her up. It's like she thought she was a danger to herself and others. Right, that's the same impression I got as well. If it weren't for the witness's statement, I'd be sure she gave herself Mage Blight. The strangest thing is that I've never seen her that scared before. Something really rattled her about what happened. Well, if you... just... I think she could control it somehow. Did you follow up on what I said about Beatrice? I know she was in that room when Pierce and I fell unconscious. She has to be involved in this somehow. Can we talk to her? We can't talk to Steelwind yet. We tried, but they were still holding her for interrogation. We might be able to after this. Well, she's already in prison, so we're already ahead on that account. But when we asked her what happened, she said that she couldn't remember anything. That's such an obvious lie. She has to be hiding something. Or maybe she truly doesn't remember anything. Normally I'd agree with you, but she's not the only one with missing memories. Eris. Steelwind also can't remember anything. What? It looks like you'll have to speak with her about that. Anyways, what about Eris and that knight who was guarding her? Did they see anything? Sorry kid, but Eris Ilmater has been missing since everything went down. What? Do you have any idea what happened to her? No, but I wouldn't be too worried. What? A witness to the crime is missing and possibly hurt. Look kid, you may be a hotshot attorney, but I've been in this business a lot longer than you have. Sometimes when these things happen to civilians, they get spooked and run away. I've seen it a million times. I feel like he's not making as big a deal of this as he should be, but he might have a point. Eris is the daughter of a crime lord after all. She might have gone into hiding to avoid having to speak with law enforcement. We don't have the resource to look for her, but I'm sure she'll turn up eventually. Well, I suppose we can't do anything about that now. But I still hope she's okay. I don't. Eris is bad news. We know that she was the one orchestrating this. She's fine. Anyways, what about the knight guarding Beatrice? Surely he didn't go missing as well. That's the thing. The knight who was supposed to be watching her is one of the people who went comatose. We found him in front of the prayer room too. Damn it, what happened to him? The one pulling the strings? Yeah. To make matters worse, the Freyguard chick knows how to cast invisibility. So even if she was telling the truth, very few people would have actually seen her. But her guard was in front of the prayer room. She must have brought him there somehow. Anyways, would you happen to have a recent version of her spell compendium? Sure, we already have it on record. That's something we definitely need to look through. Let's see, familiar bonds. Yeah, we know that for the demon sleep. They use that on us. Mend wounds, send message, animate corpse, necrotic blight, invisibility, feign death, and illusory disguise. Well. Oh, yeah, at least he's being very cooperative compared to the first trials. Yeah, he knows who we are now. He's starting to... He's warmed up to us. He knows we're not like our mentor, our past mentor, Ruby. Yeah, so this is where they can send a message to someone. This one we have seen before, but not like used. Doesn't leave a wound. This one we also know. Okay, so this will make someone look like a dead body, but people should be able to like Um... They should see that it's from the School of Necromancy. It could be... Yeah, keyword has grown on him. Yeah, definitely. It could be that that spell might have actually been used on us. And it wouldn't be recognized because we were also healed, which is the same school. In case, like, Steelwind would have killed anyone. Like, maybe Beatrice was there and used that spell on us so we wouldn't get killed also. Who knows? And this one we also know. Right, I forgot how many spells she knew how to cast. I wonder if one of the nobles knew the spell to kill the dude y'all met. Probably. It's all a little difficult to take in. I still can't believe it. After everything he did, Von Sanctus was just murdered. I'm surprised to hear that from you. Didn't he basically get away with offing just in way? The way I see it, he got what he deserved. That still doesn't sit right with me. No matter who the victims might have been, no one deserves to die like that. Hey, Darwin and I agree on the justice system. Nobody should just die. My man or him. You're definitely a bigger man than I am. Anyways, Von Sanctus' autopsy report says that he died of suffocation. We think the murderer overpowered him and choked him with a rope or something. Brutal. That hardly sounds like something someone would do during a psychotic episode. Yeah, the more info I get, the more I think you might be onto something. Vigilante justice all the way. No! We're playing lawyers. We're trying to do the justice, the legals. But either way, the fire that the perp started in his room burned his body. It didn't completely turn into ash, but it was still pretty charred. So that fire would have burned away any evidence of the minor wounds he had. Yeah, we're lucky we even discerned he was hit with an evocation spell. Right, the autopsy report mentioned that too. But if a fire was started, is it possible that he died from smoke inhalation? Charcoal noble. Yeehaw! Shoots double 6 shooters in the air. No, the divination spell we used always in the... No, the divination spell we use always identifies smoke inhalation as death by poisoning, not death by suffocation. Huh. Interesting. I suppose that kind of makes sense. But it's still a shame we can't find out how the murderer suffocated him. I was thinking smoke inhalation too, but I guess that's not how he died. I still know very little about the murder, how the murders occurred. Do you have records of each of the victims' spell compendiums? So it's not 100% accurate. No. They might help us understand what each of the victims was doing during the attack. Sure, knock yourselves out. Yeah, so his we already seen before. Doesn't seem like he learned anything new. Well, she probably wishes she had foresight. Snowfall, foresight, strike through, detect magic stones, and if she was pushed over the balcony, she could have slowfalled herself, I think. Force gauge, send message meant... Maybe he put a cage around himself. Okay. I'm gonna see all the things. So this makes light, we've seen that before. I think that might be what we saw around the thing. For the duration, the cast creates a magical 10 by 10 by 10 cube around the target within 30 feet of them. The wall of this cube are impenetrable and can't be destroyed by anything, not even by spells that can normally dispel spell effects. Furthermore, any attempts to magically teleport into or out of the cube will fail. If there's more than one creature in the target space, they will be pushed away from the center of the cube. I don't think she was conscious when she was thrown over, knocked unconscious from suffocation and choked it. Yeah, it could be too, but I think the force gauge was what was around Von Sanctus. Either I used it to protect himself or someone trapped him in it. Snowfall does exactly what he'd done. Interesting. Ultimate form of divination magic, to see brief glimpses of the near future. While this spell is active, the caster is able to sense danger seconds before it actually happens. that would assume that she has it constantly active. Clearly she didn't see it long enough. Caster increases the ability to predict the results of all their actions for the duration. This is useful for the purpose of aiming or doing other activities that rely on dexterity and skill. Dang. Yeah, we already know this. Okay, wow. That's a lot of work. Lots of work through. Yep, this is what happens when a bunch of mages are called in the middle of a murder. Honestly, you've been lucky until now. Nevertheless, I'll need to look over each of these spells when they become relevant. You think you found everything you can relating to Von Sanctus' murder. Perhaps you should move somewhere else. I want your thoughts on stuff still, sir. Hey, thoughts on area. Man, Stewart has gotten herself in the middle of a real mess this time. I know, this whole situation is unbelievable. Yeah, none of it makes sense. I don't feel like he should still have the smug expression for this. Pierce got off too, huh? Not that I'd change as much, his execution was scheduled for next month anyways. It's clear she has many conflicting emotions about what happened. When this is all over, you should take her somewhere to help her take her mind off things. So Von Sanctus is actually dead. Honestly, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Serves him right up in what happened to Justin Way. Even so, a dangerous murderer is on the loose. Neither of us can relax until we catch them and put them away. You're always working, huh? Hey, where's Aster? Oh, no clue. No thoughts. And of them had the spell that they used for the kills less that, apart from Pierce. Maybe he was killed first, raised dead, and used the spell on himself, then raised the dead was ended. I don't know. Maybe Stillwind does have that spell. I don't think they killed each other. Or maybe Ares has it. Maybe Ares did get directly involved. I can't believe someone just offed Lady Cybele. Her family is responsible for the justice system. Have you met her before? Only in passing. And whenever I did talk to her, she'd always say cooking things about the universal balance or some kind of hooey like that. Frankly, I could never understand a word she says. Yeah, she did the same for us. Hey, thoughts on me? Trouble seems to follow wherever you go, kid. I can't help it. Sometimes I feel like I'm the one who goes looking for it. Well, you've certainly found it. It's a real mess this time. Yeah, whenever he goes out, people die. I don't get why he stayed inside a month. He was about to get a different kind of confession, but then Stewart ruined it. Aw. I see you're still working with the mage girl. I have a name, you know. Save it, sweetheart. You may have everyone else fooled, but we've seen today what mages like you are capable. Orim! Dude! Well, luckily for you, Celeste and I are here to aid you in sorting out this mess. Yeah. Just tell her to keep her magic under control. We need answers, not more fireworks. He doesn't like mages. I think that's all. Oh, actually, hold up. No new thoughts about Ruby. Then I think we move. I have a feeling we can't talk to Steelwind yet. Yeah, no. So, to the garden we go. You arrive back at the cathedral's garden and come across that accursed statue again. It's staring into my soul. Cannot say I particularly blame him. He's probably seen his fair share of shit hitting the fan because of mages. Yeah. Furthermore, he's seen so many nobles, mages, like, just basically forcing him to look the other way so they could get away with whatever they did. So he's quite jaded. Then stop looking at it! As you move your attention away from the grotesque sculpture, you spot the crown prince. Oh, Aster. Also, is magic hereditary? Somewhat. So, it seems all the nobility inherit magic, But it also seems some of the common folk just like randomly are born with magic. So partly, it definitely, if your parents are mages, it seems very likely that you become a mage also. But also some of the common folk also are just born with magic. He's sitting on a bench guarded by some knights from the King's Guard. He is not going anywhere without guards for a very long time. His brow is furrowed, and he seems to be deep in thought. Oh, Mr. Kubert and Miss McCoy too. What are you still doing here? We're trying to investigate what happened. We were looking around when we just happened to find you here. It's likely mage plus mage equals mage, mage plus commoner, maybe mage, commoner plus commoner, very low chance of mage. Something like that. Who knows? I see. Are you okay? Yes, I was just thinking about how unfortunate this ordeal has been. I do hope Miss Steelwind is taking this well. Right, she is his fiancée, after all. He must be extremely worried about her. So the nobility is likely inbred, got it. If it's modeled after the nobility in, like, Europe over the years, yes. Oh, 100%, their nobility, their family trees the line. Listen, it also just happens in small communities also. It's not just the nobility. It's just kind of worse for the nobility. I'm trying to find out exactly what happened. Do you mind if we ask you some questions? I see. Well, I'll do whatever I can to help. Goes through the mind of such a tortured creature. What is it with you and this statue? I don't know, but I can feel its emotions that were my own. It's an inanimate object I rely on.
Repario Arcanum.
Just making sure. You said that you two were investigating the murders. You weren't planning on to defend Miss Steelwind, were you? I'm aware I'm from a smaller country town where there was like 4 different cases of people when I was in high school dating a relative. Ooh. I mean... that's something. It is usually... people don't realize that they're related. Like, if you... It still matters even if you're a couple times removed. Like... So you might... like, not realize that you have a common ancestor only a couple generations back. But that still matters. Nah, these 2 of them are fully... Ooh. If she would have me. She may be a competent prosecutor, but I have far more experience defending clients. Unfortunately, I think the situation is more complicated than that. What do you mean? Several house leaders died today. We can't release this information to the public. Not after news of William Fragr's death has already spread. In the course of 2 months, we've lost not 1, but 3 members of the Pillar families. But the trial has to happen soon, or else the magical traces left will disappear. From what I've heard, we will be holding a trial, but it will be handled privately and internally. And I'm sorry to say that you won't be permitted to serve in such a trial. Right, the majority of the nobility hates me after all. You wouldn't be able to pull some strings, would you, Master? That's a big ask. I'm sorry. I'd like nothing more than give you the opportunity to represent her, but I clearly have a personal attachment to this case. If I try to tip the trial in her favor, I will only harm her chances more. Right, I see what you mean. But even if we can't help her during the trial, we can still investigate the crimes on her behalf. Yes, I would really appreciate that. New evidence is found, perhaps we can exonerate Miss Steelwind of the charges against her. After everything that's happened, I really need to know. Why were so many nobles gathered in one place anyways? All 4 of the Pillar families were present. I don't think he can tell you that. I understand if you don't want to tell me. This information could be vital in figuring out what really happened. No, I see your point. The truth is we all gathered to mourn the death of my father, King Olivier the Wyvern... Oh. So the guy that we saw was not his dad. Okay. So, King Olivier the Wyvern the 4th is dead. The 9th. The 9th is dead. Yeah, no, I get why they wouldn't release that information publicly. That would probably... yeah, might have been a relative brother, yeah. But Aster is the crown prince, so if it was a brother, then Aster wouldn't be the crown prince, so maybe it's his uncle or something? So we weren't far off in saying it was the crowning of a new king. Yeah. Nobility is an occupational hazard, apparently. It has been lately. Wait, the king is dead. Tyrion? Buddy? Pal? Please, for the love of the gods, stop shouting information that is meant to be secretive on the top of your lungs whenever you learn of it. I mean, if you were a sibling, you'd want to think your brother's dead. Yeah. Yes, we wanted to avoid releasing this information to the public so close to the death of William Fregra. My father has been ill for quite some time, so we were prepared for this. Or at least, I thought I was. I also lost my mother when I was quite young. Oh, but it's still all a little hard to take in. I'm sorry, you have my condolences. Thank you. But if King Olivier is dead, that would make you... Yes, you're currently standing before King Aster, the Wyvern Guard from your kingdom. He doesn't seem happy to say that. Considering everything that's happened, he seems less than thrilled about that. I suppose that explains why all of these nobles were gathered. They came under the guise of paying their respects. But it's clear they all wanted to get closer to the new king of Wyvern. I think the Freygras were the only ones who genuinely came to give their condolences. Yeah. Poor guy. Speaking of the Freygras, I think you need to know. I saw Beatrice before I was knocked out. He likes her. Don't upset the new king so early, my guy. I think she may have been the one that killed Garrick Pierce. Why would she be there? I'm sorry, I know she's your friend, but we already know she's not above committing murder. Ah, I see. I suppose if you are saying it, it must be so. But what possible reason would she have to be involved in something like this? I'm not sure yet, but I plan to find that out. Guys. My sweet airheaded guys. She literally is in a blood contract with a demon that she'd lost. Her soul belongs to the demon lady now. And even if you guys don't know who the demon lady is, the fact that her soul belongs to the demons maybe indicates that she might be doing things that she doesn't want to do. Tyrion has his Joker moment. He's not giving a flip about anything. I have a revolutionary idea. What if we don't piss off the new king? Yeah, I mean, he's been very down to earth so far, but I'd suggest not pushing it. By the way, where were you during the murders? I remember you left with Steelwind when Celeste and I arrived at the cathedral. Ah yes, Steelwind and I left to speak with High Speaker Arceus in his quarters. Pokemon is real. What was your meeting about? It was actually about our wedding. This is Pokemon now. Always has been. I wouldn't say words like revolutionary around the new king either. Also, since when am I subbed? Probably since Holy and Evil. I think the... Let me scroll up. Can I scroll up that far? No, I can't scroll up that far. I think you were one of the people that Holy and Evil, like, subbed. With my father's death, Lord Steelwind wants to finally make our union official. Oh. I would congratulate you too, but considering the circumstances... I understand, and I appreciate your words nonetheless. Anyways, how long did this meeting last? Curse you and your generosity. Yeah, Holy and Evil has been really kind. I believe we spoke with him until 1:40 PM. But Von Sanctus died at 2:05 PM. That means that she began her rampage less than half an hour after that meeting. Was there anything off about her behavior? Now that you mention it, something about her demeanor changed. We were speaking of the wedding when she abruptly left. I asked her where she was going, but she ignored me. That sounds similar to what happened when Celeste fought her. There's no way she was affected by Mage Blight. She was definitely under some kind of spell. Did Eris do it? Can Eris control people like that? Poor Arya. I honestly didn't think much of it at the time. I'm quite used to her giving me the cold shoulder. It's not the cold shoulder, my guy. She is too flustered to speak. Right. It's possible that the steel wind the witnesses saw wasn't actually real. Does that mean the steel wind that attended the meeting was also a fake? Why wouldn't Eris be able to do that? I don't know. I don't know if her powers are that strong. Like, she's been manipulating people before and like messing with memory, but like completely controlling a person? Like, if she could do that to anyone, why would she even need contracts? Anyways, what happened after your meeting with the High Speaker? For fun? Demons seem to be bound to some rules. Yeah. Did you see Steelwind after that? Actually, I found myself caught up in something else entirely. At 2 PM, I went to pay my respects at my father's coffin, but apparently someone had set a magical trap there. What? It was a glyph of contingency. Interesting. I still think she's something more than a demon. She's definitely higher up the demon ladder. She's not like Mara Roots, Mara. Like, she's some kind of high demon. Okay, interesting. So it's like a delayed... Huh. I have heard of that spell. It's like a trap you can set and you can infuse any spell into it. But it requires a second contingent spell to place that trap. Which spell was it? It was a force cage, targeting me. Oh, so he was kept. She was called the Empress of Discord, so likely some sort of deity. Yeah, something. Was the murderer trying to attack Aster too? More like trying to keep him trapped. Hey Luna, how's your tournament been so far? Hello Eyes, it's good to see you. It's been going well. Yeah, the story is like intense. I don't think so. They would have used a more lethal spell if they wanted to. But from the sounds of it, Force Cage can't be dispelled. So Aster would have been trapped inside of it for that full hour. No, I think the Aster was the intended target. Because the cage needs to be targeted on something. Solving many mysteries? We solved the one of the last case. And now we're in a new case. And 3 nobles have died. And Arya Steelwind, our prosecutor friendo, seems to be either framed for the killing or mind controlled to do the killing. It's a mess. It's a big mess. I think the murderer used this as a distraction. Because of that trap, the Kingsguard consolidated most of their attention and forces on my location. There's an out-of-context thing in the Discord for the last case. There is? Let me sneak. Also, I got fan art. Okay, it's an audio thing. I can't sneak right now. Can't look at that. As a result, there were fewer people guarding Von Sanctus, Cybele, and Pierce. And the ones that were there all fell comatose. They can't tell us what happened to them. And yet another inexplicable event is added to the list. After everything you've learned, you highly doubt that Steelwind was affected by Mage Blight. So someone must have been behind what happened. But who? Eris? It was Eris. It was definitely Eris. Anyways, it seems he's told you everything he knows. He probably didn't witness much after he was trapped by the force cage. You should move somewhere else and follow your other leads. Okay, hold on, but I want your thoughts on people? I can't believe someone killed Lady Cybele. Did you know her well? It was a demon. It was definitely Eris. But the question is how she did it. Like, clearly she had... Steelwind was there, or someone looking like Steelwind. But also powerful enough to fight like Steelwind. I think it was Steelwind being mind-controlled somehow. Quite well. We had many debates about her family ran the judicial system. Rasper's like, hey, your system is broke. I found him quite frustrating. Aww. He's got a moral compass. After speaking to her, I can kind of understand what you mean. Lloyd von Sanctus is actually dead. And I just saw him this morning too. Yeah, despite my feeling about him, no one deserves to be killed in cold blood. She's the one who her. Yeah. If there's some silver lining, it's that he can no longer harm people with his negligence. He must still be thinking about Justin Way. Hey, your brother? Oh, no thoughts about your brother. Thoughts about Beatrice? No extra thoughts about Beatrice. Okay, thoughts about Pierce then. Okay, so we had Sanctus and Cybele, but it also seems that Lucio, like, it feels like they would try to go for all the house pillars, but they left Lucio, like, alone. Or maybe they realized they couldn't take him down because, like, this man... If anyone can fight, it's him. I think they left Lucio because they were unsure if they could kill him, or at least on their own. Yeah, or maybe they did attack Lucio. But I think we would have heard about that. I can't believe Miss Steelwind is being blamed for this. Although, I can't fault the Kingsguard for that. Right, there were several witnesses who saw her. And Celeste's testimony shows that it was someone else... Shows it wasn't someone else magically disguised as her. I hope she's doing okay. I don't think she is. She murdered people. Or at least it seems like she murdered people, and it seems like she believes she did that. I don't think you'd have anything to say about Eris. Do you have anything to say about Orem? No. Any thoughts on me? This whole situation is quite a mess. I do consider myself lucky that you're here, Mr. Kubert. I appreciate your trust, but I still can't make sense of what I've found so far. Well, if anyone can find out what happened, it's you. Oh, by the way, he's still kind of a fanboy for us. He was so excited to meet us the first time. I'm glad you were with Mr. Kubert when the assailant struck Miss McCoy. Who knows what would have happened if you weren't there. No, I failed completely. I let the murder get past me. They could have killed Tyrone. You're very calm saying that. You can't keep blaming yourself for what happened. And we're both safe now. That's what matters. Yeah. I don't think you have thoughts on Ruby. No. Let's move. So... This would be the next location. I don't think we can talk to Steelwind until we visited all the locations. I looked up Eris's last name and it's apparently a deity of compassion and martyrdom in D&D. Ilmater. That is interesting, because... So Eris's name, like Eris, is the name of the Greek and Roman goddess of discord. Technically the one who kind of started the Trojan War by throwing an apple and, like, having the goddesses, like, disagree who was the prettiest. And then Zeus was like, look, I'm stupid, but I'm not stupid enough to, like, choose and say who is the prettiest, so I'm going to have a random mortal choose. And then the random mortal got visited by all the goddesses, and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick the one that offers me the most beautiful person, which was Helen of Troy, and, like... Stuff and bad. But martyrdom is an interesting one. Yeah, also Ilmater, like... It could also just literally be, like, ill mother, this matter, mother, which just means that, you know, bad fortune, like, mother, basically. Who knows? At least we got a kick-ass story out of it. We did get a kick-ass story out of it. Also, can we just take a moment to appreciate this background? They definitely, like, they spent some time on this one. It feels this one came together quite well. Which basically kickstarted Western culture. I mean... Now this feels more lively. Yeah, it feels like... Some of the backgrounds were a little rushed. Like, someone had like a lot of experience clearly doing character art, but I don't know if they had a lot of experience doing background art. But this looks very, I think they used a combination, at least, I might be entirely wrong, but I think they used a combination of 3D renders and then paint over, because some of the environments look like really well done 3D wise, and like they have a little bit of that 3D like render feel to them still. So this balcony definitely gives me that, but then paint over to get the textures right, and this background is just like fully painted. Like this column, for example, this feels slightly rendered to me. Which isn't a bad thing, by the way, it's just, I think it's a really good way to construct a 3D environment. But it feels like not all the backgrounds had the same amount of time, like, gifted to them, like, or able to be gifted to them. But yeah, I still think the art in this game is super pretty. And I did a really great job on this one. Yeah. Supposedly this is where the murderer threw Sibyl's body into the lake. Oh, hello there. Uh-oh. New person. Might have been different artists given parts that were deemed less important. Yeah, or the same artist, but just rushed on parts. Like, they were like, oh, we need this, and they didn't have a lot of time. I mean, when I am doing something in a rush, the way I output art, like, changes in terms of quality a lot. Especially if it's not something I'm particularly, like, practiced in. Okay, you're definitely the higher up in the church here. I don't know if you're good or bad, like, I'm not sure about the vibes you give. It's the sort of. From his garb, he appears to be someone who works at the cathedral. I don't believe we've met before. What are you doing here? Sorry for the intrusion. I'm Tyrone Kubert, and this is my bodyguard, Celeste McCoy. Dude has a terrarium boss on top of his staff. That is... I'm fairly sure they're Dragon Lord. Wait, what? He's got creeper eyes. He's off-putting. Yeah, there's something... We're investigating the murders on behalf of Prosecutor Steelwind. Oh, it's the... It's the Pokémon. He's Pokémon. He doesn't look nearly as criminal as I expected him to be. Dang. Theon Arceus. Tarion Kubert, I have heard of you. Judging from his thoughts, he probably hasn't heard many good things about you. Considering he's probably around the nobility a lot. Yeah. But forgive my rudeness, I'm Theon Arceus, High Speaker of the Church of Bahamut. He is pretty much the Pope. You know, for an 81-year-old man, like, his face... Like, he looks old, but he doesn't look that old. You know what I mean? Then again, drawing old people is really tough. But I'd expect more speckling on his face, but I guess this style doesn't really lend to that. So you're the one who saw Steelwind here during the murders. Anime man, even old people still look good. He's old, but he's not aged. Yeah. But again, he probably had kind of a cushy life, so maybe he wouldn't have a weathered face. Do you mind if we ask you some questions? He's really pondering. Do I mind that? He scans you warily. Suppose there would be no harm in that. You don't trust it at all. There's some kind of debris on the ground. Pick up one of the pieces and feel it in your hands. It appears to be some kind of gravel. Maybe she cast like a protection spell on herself. This balcony provides a perfect view of Lake Galakrond. A lot of people probably come here when the Grand Cathedral is open to the public. I can see a military stronghold in the distance. You can? I don't. I must be able to see a lot from that high up.
Arcanum.
Yeah, those things are definitely magical. There are traces of transmutation on the pieces of this debris. That would imply that a spell specifically targeted or created whatever this came from. Yeah, she knew a stone skin spell. I was thinking about it too. But I doubt someone created these bits of gravel. It must have broken off from something else. Probably from stone skin. We heard that you saw the prosecutor acting strangely here. Could you tell us more about what you saw? Did it look like she was having a psychotic episode? I wouldn't go that far, but she was certainly acting strangely. How did you come across her? Well, I was on my way to the prayer room. I always recite prayers from the draconic text around that time. Wait, he was heading to the prayer room. When I saw her, I first thought she was just enjoying the view of the lake. I was about to greet her, but when I approached her, I saw that she was throwing something off the edge of the balcony. Probably to protect herself, but the extra weight probably sealed her fate in the end. Who knows? She also knows Featherfall. You must have seen her dumping Cybel's body. You're probably correct. I came to the same conclusion after I found that poor woman's body below us. Although, what is it? I only saw it for a second, so perhaps I'm wrong. But Lady Cybel was wearing a much brighter color this morning. Whatever Lady Steelwind threw into the lake, it looked much darker. Huh. Well, that could have still been the stone skin. What does that mean? I'm sorry, I can't really explain it. Perhaps I was just seeing things. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be, after all. I could have just been a trick of the light. No, I think he did. I think he saw her like having stone skin on her. Wait, if you saw Arya dumping Lady Cybel's body, she must have just murdered her. Maybe she didn't die of the fall, but of the shock or from drowning. I don't know. If someone really went around wanting to murder the nobles here, it seems a little like sloppy to just assume that they'll drown. That means you must have been heading to where we were at the time. Oh? Were you praying there with Lord Pierce? Not exactly. What? That's not what the guards told me. The guards? Do you mean the one standing watch outside the prayer room? Yes, they told me that Pierce was praying with some acquaintances of his. He's like, that's not what the prayer room was for. They said the same thing to Lady Steelwind as well. Wait, Steelwind was there too? Yes, she appeared to be waiting for something. But anyways, I didn't want to disturb them, so I went back to my quarters to pray there. The High Speaker didn't see her fighting Celeste. She must have started her attack after he left, but why would she bother waiting? Either way, we can't exactly question those guards. I did some Google research on the art of this game. The character art has been done by someone named Raig, and the environment art has been done by someone named Miko. Huh. Interesting. That does make sense. Character art is very different from background art, and the styles are also very different. Yeah, they're still comatose after the attack. Just had a bit of a look through the developer's Twitter. Lots of good concept art on there for the game. Also, upon seeing the raw backgrounds, I'm pretty sure a lot of them are just pure 3D renders and some not. And this has taken a hell of a long time to 3D model these. Dang. That's all the official game credits have to offer, unfortunately. Yeah, I could also go to the credits now. They are in the title menu. But I just don't, like, I didn't memorize the, all the names on there. Admittedly, I'm not very good at memorizing names. I'm not having trouble just keeping track of all the characters. And yeah, it did look to me like a lot of these environments were 3D modeled, which is also like impressive because they're like a lot of different ones. Actually, the High Speaker's quarters aren't that far away from the prayer room. How did you not hear anything? It must have been because of the magical wards in my room. Magical wards? Are they there for security reasons? Not exactly. I actually suffer from chronic insomnia. Even the smallest sounds will wake me up at night. Years ago, I had some mages enchant the walls so sound couldn't travel through them. I can't hear anything from outside the room once I shut my door. Oh, can I have some of those? I want some of those. That sounds good. That doesn't sound awfully convenient, but you doubt that he'd lie about something you could so easily verify. Either way, you should make a note of this. Me too. Yeah, and especially when the neighbors are like being loud in the backyard. I'd love some of that. Now I want to present some things to you. Hey, can I have your thoughts on like, did you know Coraline Sybil? She was the head of one of the 4 pillar families. Bro, I've had the worst sleep for weeks. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I asked just as the big raid happens, I went under. I'm on food duty. Any decent ideas for dinner? Anyone reasonable day is welcome. Not gonna make a treat. Oh, I'm sorry. I indeed didn't see that, Genoxis. Let's see. If you have to make like a lot of food, usually something roasted in the oven is really easy. Like a big, just like tray of veggies and potatoes. I don't mean to sound negative about them being 3D. They do seem to blend 3D and 2D, but yeah, it's not a. When I talk about it, it's not a negative for me either. It's like you can see it, but I think it works well. And 3D doesn't mean like it wasn't any less work. They definitely put like, it takes time to model stuff in 3D, and I think it's like for creating so many different, like especially indoor environments. It's kind of hard to do that, like, and if you model it in 3D, you can get the exact angle right. How about pound beef with creme sauce and rice? That's what I had yesterday. Ooh, that does sound good. Rice with sauce of sorts is also good, like rice and then like we sometimes do a spicy, yeah, I don't exactly know the ingredients. A spicy red sauce with shrimp and like white fish. Also very tasty, but I wouldn't be able to like tell you the recipe from the top of my head. I did. It's quite unfortunate what happened to her. Of the 4 families, I felt that House Sybil was the one most loyal to the church. You decide not to voice your discontent for House Sybil. Yeah, they did seem to be the most focused on religious stuff. Not something similar to the other day, so pretty much the same. Okay, thoughts on Sanctus. You know Lloyd von Sanctus, he was head of the House von Sanctus. Yes, I knew him well. We often worked together in matters of enterprise. Why would the church need to discuss matters of enterprise? Perhaps I've already said too much. You know Lord Pierce? He was one of the victims. I didn't know him well. Not to insult House Pierce, but he wasn't a noble of high standard. I never had many opportunities to speak with him. Oh, no thoughts on the king. Or the prince. Thoughts on Beatrice? Thoughts on Arya? I can't believe Lady Steelwind would do something like this. Potato soup? No thoughts, head empty. I'm thinking it's too warm today to do something along those lines. Might be good. Oh, what I always like to eat on warm days is come on, Brain. Couscous. I have no clue if that's what it's called in English too, though. It's really easy, and it's very tasty with just some like spices mixed through it. I can't really doubt what I saw with my own eyes. Why was she acting so strangely? There's more to this than we're all seeing, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. For her sake, I hope you're right. I know what it is. It's the same name here. Yeah, I always like to eat that on hot days. It's like... It's very light, but you can make it very tasty and can mix whatever you want through it. Like if you just make that and then with some like stock and then mix some spices through it afterwards. No, that's not how you write it, at least not in Dutch. And then you can have like bits of meat like through it as a salad if you like make it separately, like just some chicken breast or something, or chicken thigh. A popular thing here in warm days is what's called a bachelor's handbag. Roast chicken from the grocery store, some salads, usually pasta or potato salad, or roast chicken rolls with lettuce. Never made it though, gotta keep that in mind for when I am in the mood to test it. Couscous. Yeah, that's how you write it in Dutch. That's not how you write it in German. Thoughts on me? So you have heard of me, High Speaker. I have. He's not what I was expecting. What kind of stories have you been told about me? I'm so glad it stopped raining. It rained here for 2 weeks pretty much without interruption. My tomatoes harvest is ruined. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. I guess tomatoes can't deal with too much rain. I did like the rain, but yeah, it sucks that your tomatoes didn't survive it. You shouldn't believe every story you hear from the aristocracy. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, the nobles don't like us. Okay, no tells us less. I think we checked all the places, so I think we should be able to talk to Steelwind now. Or not. Uh-oh. Potatoes, zucchinis, beans, and carrots are still doing fine though. Well, I've always wanted to try grow potatoes and carrots. I haven't been able to though, but we don't really have a big garden. And to be fair, my mom is the one who does most of the gardening. I haven't really gotten into it. Yeah, the church is really, like, cool looking. She attacked a member of the royal family and killed several nobles. What else is there to investigate? Oh, he does not like Steelwind. The laws are clear what we must do. We should execute her immediately. Little buddy, there needs to be a trial first. Alaric, this situation is of far too much import to make such a rash decision. Okay, who's you? Are you the uncle? We need to approach this calmly and carefully. As you return to the nave, you spot the young prince in an argument with that noble man you saw earlier. The one I thought might have been the king, but I guess he is kinda young looking, but in this game that says nothing. He knows that his older brother and Steelwind are like betrothed. Probably the royal advisor? Maybe. Potatoes are easy. Just put a sprouting potato in the background, in the background around March and profit in June and August. Hands of the king, the ideal. Yeah, but just putting a potato in the ground, like, does that guarantee there will be more? Feels like there shouldn't. I don't know. I need to actually put time into it, and I haven't. Now that you think of it, you still have no idea who he is. Oh, it's you two. Your Highness. And I don't think we've been introduced. What? I see you're still as insolent as ever. You stand before Sir Remus Virgile, Archduke and Royal Advisor to the Wivengard throne. I believe he meant advisor. Okay, so he is a Royal Advisor. So far we've had around 6 to 10 potatoes per potato plant. Huh. Did you cut the sprouting potato into pieces? You did call it Archduke. You didn't even know the Kingdom of Wivengard had a title like that. Why haven't you ever heard of him before? Why are you two still here anyways? I thought the cathedral was closed for the investigation. We're investigating what happened on behalf of Prosecutor Steelwind. I see. Anyways, I have much to attend to. I'll be taking my leave. Ooh, he is worried / scared. You sense a tinge of anxiety. Is he avoiding you? Hold up. Is he, perchance, maybe, Celeste's biological parent? That's more if you're short on potatoes for planting. And can you just plant any potato, like, once it's, sprouting? Also, it's a 7-year-old kid that has grown up around Lord von Sanctus. Of course he's gonna have an attitude. I'm sure his brother will, like, steer him in the right direction. The both of you. You should know your place, knave. Your Grace, where were you when the murders took place? Just what are you trying to insinuate? Oh, we know for sure that Celeste's parents that we know of aren't her biological parents. They found her. She's adopted. She knew that. Please, Alaric, there's no need for that. To answer your question, I was speaking with Lady Fregra's familiar. Tracker? No, it was the demon who calls himself Maroonnath. Oh. What? Why would you want to speak with him? He was actually the one that sent for me. According to him, he had some information that was of great import to me. You didn't make a contract with him, did you? Of course not. What kind of desperate fool do you take me for? Yes, but him being her parent is kind of a leap. His brother should... No hurting a small child. Also, the reason I think that is because he's nervous around this. So he might have something to hide. And maybe the demon told... Like, someone told him? I don't know. Best if the potatoes are already sprouting roots. That way you know for sure they're alive. Potatoes from the store are sometimes pre-cooked and it's not good for planting. But if they're sprouting, it should be fine. So just, like, put them in the sun for a little until they turn greenish and start sprouting and then put them in the ground. We usually buy potatoes at the market, so I think it should be fine. No, he gave me the information he had freely. Why would he do that? Humans are supposedly always trying to trick humans into making deals with them. Looking back, it must have been a distraction. What a fool I was. I knew he was playing with me. But I knew he couldn't tell lies, and the information he had was too important to ignore. If you don't mind me asking, what was the information about? He is not saying. I'm sorry, but I can't reveal what he told me. I could endanger people that I care about. But rest assured, I doubt it has anything to do with the massacre. Your Grace, we've only just met. I can't exactly just take your word for it. I suppose that's fair. But believe me when I say that I plan to take this information to my grave. See, this is why I think... That's ominous, but he clearly intends on keeping their conversation a secret. Now, if they're sprouting, just put them into the ground and you should be good to go. Just give enough sunshine and water and be patient. Well, I barely have, like... We don't really have potatoes that sprout. We always keep them in the dark and the cold, so they don't... Like, we don't keep them long enough around that they go sprouting. We usually eat them before then. Well, I don't want... Like... Okay, I'm a very picky eater. I'm a very, very pampered owl, and I like specific kinds of potatoes that we get from the market because they taste better. I don't remember the exact variety from the top of my head, but it has a name. I don't just like any potato. Anyway, several members of the King's Guard were watching us. They can verify my alibi. Pampered owl. Very... They sprout in the dark. They do? I thought they needed light. That's why you keep them in a dark, cool place, so they don't start sprouting, because... Also, I'm not cute. I just like good food. How long did this conversation last? I arrived to speak with him at 1:50 PM, and I didn't leave until 3:10 PM. Okay. So he was accounted for during the time frame of the murders. Market potatoes should also be good. They probably have not sprouted yet because they are too fresh. I don't think I'll be planting potatoes anytime soon, considering I'm also too late in the year to, like, plant them. And also because I have a lot of other things I'm doing and I don't have the time to plant potatoes. Whoever orchestrated this also used a force cage to trap Aster. Were they trying to distract the forces in the cathedral? Or were they trying to keep certain people out of the crossfire? You want to plant him around March. I'm definitely going to forget that, but I'll try and keep it in mind somehow. Either way, it's clear that Beatrice has a lot to answer for. Your Highness, we heard the prosecutor cast a spell on you when you saw the fire in the common room. Can you tell us more about what happened? I can't believe she attacked a member of the royal family. She was completely irresponsible with her magic. I understand your feelings about this, but we can't say for certain that she inflicted mage blight on herself. Just put a good luck potato aside for a while, see if it gets potato. I don't know. I'm not the one who buys the potatoes. I'd have to ask. And also, if I'm meant to plant them in March, I probably don't want to put a potato out now, considering it's just August. That would be a very long time to wait on a potato. It might have gone bad by that time if I want them to plant it in March. We don't even know it was actually her. I saw her with my own eyes. Illusion magic exists. Plenty of other people did too. Either way, where did this happen? It was on the path outside of the common room. I saw smoke coming from the building, and I saw Steelwind walking away from it. So this must have been after she murdered Von Sanctus. Not now, well, I've rotten by March. Yeah, I had a feeling. I have a feeling I already know the answer, but was she behaving erratically? No, she very deliberately cast a spell on me. Which once again implies that Mage Blight wasn't behind this. Do you know which spell she cast on you? I'm not sure. I've never been affected by a spell like that before. From magical traces on him, we know that was a transmutation spell. Transmutation spell manipulates and changes physical matter. It's scary to think about what that might do to a human body. January, February, maybe. Yeah. Are you sure he's okay? Lord Asclepius inspected him, and he doesn't appear to have any lasting injuries. We are hoping the spell's effects were only temporary. Can you describe what you felt while you were affected by it? That might help us identify which spell it was. Well, I was extremely dazed, and my ears were ringing. My vision was also partially blurred. It was as if my mind was in some sort of fog. Whenever I tried to speak, I couldn't even form words with my mouth. I could only make grunting sounds. I couldn't walk either, so I had to crawl on the floor. Gasp, flashbang. I think it's more than just flashbang. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It must have been traumatic. What kind of transmutation spell would do that to him? It had to be something that affected his senses. Oh, poor kiddo. You already told us that she wasn't acting erratically. Was there anything off about her demeanor? He was turned into a frog. Who knows? I don't think we've seen a spell that does that. I only saw her for a moment, but she was definitely different than usual. She was completely emotionless. Yeah, that's exactly what she was like when I fought her too. It's like she was an arcane construct. Her movements were almost robotic. Wait, are there any arcane constructs in the Cathedral Grounds? Are we having another illusionary arcane construct again? I turned into a noob. I got better. No, not for lack of trying on Lord Von Sanctus's part. The High Speaker and I have specifically forbidden the staff here from using them. It would be really convenient if all this was done using construct. Not again. Although you are a little tired of seeing them in your cases. Anyways, was anyone else around when Steelwind cast transmutation spells on you? No, she moved away quickly after she incapacitated me. And even if someone was around, I don't think I could have seen them anyways. Commander White also said that he was surprised no one saw the prince until after that spell wore off. What happened to him? Probably was turned into a small animal somehow. Uncovers Alaric's account of what happened, and we even called the Archduke statesman too. But there's still one last person we need to speak to. Arya. She and Beatrice supposedly have no memories of what happened. If it were only Beatrice saying that, I'd probably doubt it. But if Steelwind also doesn't have any memories, it becomes a lot more incredible. She definitely has the missing piece we need to put this together. Are you going to the dungeon to speak with her? I am. Wonderful. I'll be accompanying you. My speaking is starting to go. What? As their royal advisor, I have a vested interest in the investigation. While I trust Lucio to leave no stone unturned, I hear you have quite a talent for seeing what the crown cannot. Well, it's not as if you have the authority to stop him, but you still don't know him very well. You need to be wary of what you say in front of him. I would like your thoughts on people before I go. I can't believe Lady Steelwood would do something like this. After everything my brother has done for her, this is how she repays him. There's much more to this than we're all seeing. She can't be responsible for this. We'll see. Okay, same on this. Okay, he probably has the same for everything. Though I have a... What about your brother? Out of everyone, I think my brother has gotten the worst out of this. Right, he has to choose between protecting his fiancée or convicting her. But hold on, what are you doing here, sir? Can't imagine what's going on through his mind right now. I hope he's okay. I think that was the wrong image. I think that was meant to be Aster, but for some reason flipping Arceus popped up. Hey, thoughts on me? Every time I see you, something horrible ends up happening. It's as if you bring trouble wherever you go. He does. I doubt it's that. My occupation just puts me in this position. No, I think it's exactly that actually, Tyrion. I think Eris just is like messing with you. So you go around looking for trouble then. Well, he's not wrong. This kid would execute someone on a hunch. He would. But he's also 7. And he spent too much time around Lord von Sanctus. I think we're gonna play till the chapters end. And then I'm going to call it early because my voice is already giving way to me. And I've had a really busy week. And there's no way we'd finish this anyways, like in one stream. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we might end a little earlier than usual because voice and tired. You arrive at the dungeon and see the prosecutor sitting in a holding cell. She seems extremely stressed. It's as if she's trying to figure something out. The gasp! Mr. Cubert, and your grace. Thewen gives a wary look to the Archduke. How are you doing? As best as I can, all things considered. Been an enjoyable stream regardless. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. What brings you here? We're trying to investigate everything that happened. I see. I was wondering if you could answer some of our questions. I'm not cute. No. Steelwind, I know your situation is pretty grim right now, but you know you can trust me. You're not the person I'm worried about. At this moment, I don't even know if I can trust myself. What? She doesn't remember anything. Actually, is there something new we can see? Yeah.
Arcanum.
Just checking. We heard that you don't have any memories of what happened. Is that true? It is. No matter how much I try, I can't recall anything. What is the last thing you remember? I believe I was leaving my meeting with the High Speaker and His Majesty. After the meeting, I was planning to return to Nave to speak with my father, but I suddenly felt extremely nauseous. You're not cute. You're downright adorable. I'm not. How dare! Fear me. I'm a fearsome owl. I wonder if Feign Dead and Raised Dead could work in tandem. I don't know. I thought some fresh air might help me feel better, so I went to the balcony. The one over Lake Galakrond? Yes, that one. The last thing I remember was losing consciousness as I looked at the lake. And did you cast any magic before this happened? No, I didn't. Are you sure you don't remember anything after that? I don't. All I remember is waking up to the sound of someone sobbing. And Gon's a sleepwalk spell. Yeah, is that what you're thinking? Technically you ain't dead if Feign Dead is cast on you. Yeah. It was Celeste. She was crying over your unconscious body, Mr. Cubert. Oh. I feel like we completely ruled out Mage Blight, so I doubt that's why you can't remember anything. Are there any spells that can specifically modify or destroy people's memories? Breathing and heartbeats. Yeah, but I doubt, like, if the spell to command that dead is meant to work on dead body. I don't know. Would certainly explain a lot of this. No, arcane spells can only affect the physical world. But throughout history, mages have attempted to develop spells that can affect the mind. There's no recorded history of any of them succeeding. But you're assuming that arcane spells are the only type of magic that exists. Yeah, we for a fact know that isn't true. What? I think you've observed it already. There are magical creatures in this world that don't use arcane magic. Isn't that right, Mr. Cubert? Uh-oh. Does he know? What? Does he know about the Eye of Horus? I'm not sure what you're trying to imply. Don't take me for a fool. Several of my associates attended Fregra's trial, and they all heard what that demon referred to you as. Oh no. Uh-oh. Heavensborn. If I learned that Lumina had anything to do with this. Your Grace, I'm not an agent of the Theocracy. And even if what you're saying is true, I wasn't the one who manipulated Steelwind's memories. Did I miss anything good? One, I'm not cute. Secondly, triple murder. We did get Beatrice, like, indicted, but also her soul now belongs to the Demon Queen of Chaos. Whoops. But I suppose you raise a good point. If something affected Steelwind's memories, it wasn't necessarily an arcane spell. In fact, it couldn't have been an arcane spell. It was definitely something else. You're probably right. Which proves that I'm responsible for the murders. What? You just said that you don't have any memories of what happened. Why are you so convinced that you're responsible for this? Push him down and run. I don't think that's gonna work. I told the Inquisition already. I saw Beatrice before I passed out. She's clearly involved in this somehow. There's more to this than you realize, Mr. Cubert. For the past few months, the Inquisition and I have been investigating a string of seemingly unrelated murders. During each of those cases, we were able to apprehend the perpetrator without issue. But there was always something off about them during questioning. The murders were always abnormally gruesome and passionate, and each of the perpetrators said the same thing. They all said that they had no choice. No choice. Eris was definitely involved. Eris made them believe that, just like with the Eye Taker, that this person, like, took everything from them. Cases like this have been occurring throughout Wivengard, and very little connects the perpetrators to each other. Alex said one thing: each of them acted as if someone had controlled them against their will. And they were probably just desperate. Most murderers try to make excuses after they're caught. They could have even just been in complete denial. Orem said the same thing, but these cases were far too similar for me to ignore. I wondered if they were telling the truth. Perhaps each of these murders was committed by an unknown party. I didn't have any concrete evidence, but I knew I was getting close to something. Steelwind, I don't mean to be rude, but this sounds completely insane. You don't even have any physical evidence to prove these murders are connected. There's one piece of evidence, but it's hardly concrete. But it does tie each of the cases together. She takes out a small parchment from her pocket and shows it to you. Yep, that's definitely something with Eris. Definitely something with Eris. It's a purple symbol. Several of the people were arrested had an item with this symbol on it. None of them could remember where it came from. Yellow sign but purple. Ain't the symbol there? It might be. Run. Yeah, or don't. Isn't it already too late? If you see it... Is it... You're now tainted by it. Yeah, I think we're all screwed. Well, good luck. I hope owls and fey beings can't be affected. I'm good, but you guys might be lost. Oh dear, it seems you've seen it. Yeah, I don't know much about the Yellow King, but... Actually, I know very little. But... None of them could remember where it came from or even what it was. But they all somehow knew that it was called the Purple Mark. Uh-huh. But there has to be an explanation for this. It could just be some esoteric superstition that we don't know about. If that's true, then ask yourself one thing. Where did I get this parchment from? Oh, no. You don't mean... I found it in my pocket after I was properly confined. Whoever I've been chasing must have left it there to taunt me. For all I know, they could have controlled my body and forced me to draw this symbol myself. Either way, this all but proves the massacre at the cathedral is related to it. Oh dear. I don't want to dismiss what you said, but this definitely won't hold up in court. Nor should it. If my mind has been compromised, I can't take the risk of leaving this dungeon. She might have pockets in that skirt. Otherwise, I could end up harming more people. Wait, are you planning to spend the rest of your life in prison? Now that's unrealistic. Raise a good point. Okay, have a good food. If that's what is necessary to keep everyone safe. Oh. But what about Aster? Weren't you two supposed to be married soon? He's the king now, and you can't rule Wivengard alongside him from a holding cell. There are no pockets on women's clothing. Yeah, but wouldn't that, like, Lucio, surely she would have gotten, like, clothing that had pockets. Can't just not have pockets as a fighter, or just in general. Maybe this fantasy world is fantasy and there's actually pockets in human clothing. In human clothing, in women clothing. You're correct, but he's always been a remarkable person. He should have no problem finding another suitress. Oh, no, but you like him, like, a lot. You feel an overwhelming sadness emanating from her as she says that. Arya? No. What? You're not going to sacrifice everything for someone else's actions. Mr. Qbert, I am not going to risk more lives. If I were to hurt His Majesty, I would never be able to forgive myself. Please don't ask that of me. I need to argue with her? I have no clue what you guys are on about. I think she just has skirt pockets. Okay, how about presenting people? I'm sorry about what happened, Celeste. I can't imagine the lack of closure you feel right now. No, I don't care about that anymore. I'm just glad Tyrion is safe. Hey, what about your dad? Oh, no thoughts on your dad. Okay. I can't believe we lost so many house leaders in the course of a few months. Now my father's the only head of the four pillars that still lives. Lord Sealand is her father, so it would probably be best not to point out how suspicious that is. Thoughts on me? I'm glad you were unharmed, Mr. Qbert. I was worried when I saw you next to Pierce's corpse. Well, I definitely got the least of it. I should consider myself lucky that whoever did this decided not to kill me. It's not safe for Luna. I can't talk. I made a pretty bad joke last time she streamed this. It's not... How am I... I'm not cute. And also, how am I corrupting you? You guys are the ones making the jokes. Also, see, you're teaching other people this. Hang it on the distance. Not cute. Thoughts on Aster? I believe His Majesty was unharmed during the massacre. Whoever orchestrated this trapped him in a forced cage. They must have used him as a distraction while they went after their true targets. Good. No, not good. As callous as it is, I'm glad he wasn't their real target. I don't know what I would do if anything happened to him. Oh. What about the kid? I can't believe I was forced to attack Prince Alaric. Don't feel too guilty. He doesn't seem to have any lasting injuries. Regardless, he's much too young to experience something like that. Yeah, that's definitely going to stick with him for a while. Evidence points to the contrary, cute owl. Overruled. You're all wrong. I'm not cute. Is Orim working with the Kingsguard to investigate what happened? He is. We actually got a lot of information from him. That's reassuring to hear. I suppose this is a good opportunity to see how well he works without my guidance. You ever stop working? No. Celeste, I heard that I fought you during the massacre. I apologize if I hurt you in any way. I'm doing good. I just woke up and had a dream about having a cackling ghost. Like, was it a fun cackling ghost or was it like a terrifying cackling ghost? I hope you had a good night's sleep despite of it. A popular man, your overruling has been You can't overrule me. I'm the one doing the overruling. Denied. Celeste? Sorry, this is just a lot to take in. A few hours ago, it really felt like you were trying to kill me. Was it a move from Super Mario? You're always going to be cute in our eyes. I'm back and I think I made my chicken too hot to eat, so just let it cool down. Yeah, don't burn your tongue. We have the manpower to overrule your overruling. Terrifying, plus I had a great sleep. Well, I'm glad you had a great sleep despite of the terrifying ghost. Also, no, you can't overrule my overruling. I'm the grand power here. No. I won't fault you for feeling that way. I'm truly sorry. I think we need to argue. Dylan's going to throw away everything she cares about for the greater good. Even if she wasn't the one who did all this, she's not the one who's responsible. You can't let her resign herself to fate like this. Save. Usually we build up a profile, but it doesn't seem like we're able to do that now, so we're just gonna go straight in. Your position as overruler has been revoked and are given to consulary position as a head of Cuteness Affairs. In the morning I had a dream I was chased by Bear and an animatronic from Five Nights at Freddy's. I woke up. Oh no. You're cute and if you don't think so, we can take this to cute. I'm not cute, and there's no cute card. Also, I had a dream where I had to take some weird flipping test on like, not just me, like an entire group of people had to take like some weird test that apparently we learned for on like, sort of, they looked like arcade machines, but they were like entirely white and just blue, like plain colors. And then when the instructor overseeing that like explained everything, for some reason he stood behind me, like the person next to me. We were like, oh, we're super close together, I could totally see your screen because we were totally lined up. So we're like, well, that isn't weird, maybe we should turn our things, but it was super slow. And then the overseeing person, like some big callous dude, just walked behind me and wrapped the strings of my hoodie around my neck and just flipping choked me in front of everyone. It choked everyone too. They were like, what the flip? So I fell to the ground, gasping for air, and I was like, dude, what the heck? And then he flirted with me, and I was like, no, stop. And then I woke up and I was like, well, that just happened. Why? Yeah, stranger danger. I mean, honestly, it is already weird that I was even standing up. Thank you for the follow, VCCT. For my strange dream. Like, I am used to dying in dreams, and if I don't die, I usually am like completely paralyzed on the ground. Most of my dreams I spent unable to move and unable to see very well. I'm just like not incapacitated, but like Bro has an immaculate wrist. No, he does not. He was also significantly in a dream. I said no, like I was 21. Like I said something about being, I don't remember exactly the conversation. I said something about being 21 and he immediately started flirting. And he was like 50 or something. It was weird. It was very uncomfortable. Honestly, I'd much rather have a dream where I go to the hat store and don't buy anything than like having to take some weird exam, being stressed about that, and then being just flipping choked. It was a very uncomfy dream. Why can't I dream about nice things? If it were necessary, I would give my life for this kingdom. Let's see here. Psychological profile. And a dream about the merchant of shackles that gave you what you desired, for example, great singing voice, but it turned you into an animal over time. Also, there was a giant gecko in the house laying eggs everywhere. That is also very interesting. I think I'd like that dream more too. Like, I just... I just want to have nice dreams. I think the last dream I had, I failed the class I had to pass in real life and was trying to figure out how the hell I'm gonna sort my classes out. I woke up and I was worried about how I'm going to sort out my classes. Yeah, I've had stuff like that too. I have had dreams, though in those dreams I was still then like paralyzed lying on the ground where I had to take some kind of test or it was too late for school. It's weird. I dream about you and I dream about Five Nights at Freddy's. I dream about all types of stuff. Yeah, dreams are weird. Killwant acts for the greater good of the kingdom, regardless of the amount of suffering she must endure in doing so. She is deeply in love with Asta and will do anything to protect him. However, she is still a rational person and will be receptive to logical arguments. When I graduated college, I had so much stress for the final exam that I still had exam stress dreams up to the year after I graduated. Yeah, I hear that people have that. If someone controlled my actions today, they can and will do so again. I'm feeling controlled by mind. I dreamed about snakes crawling on me and stuff. Oh, yikes. And as long as there's a possibility exists, I can't trust myself. And that's not the issue here. If someone else is responsible for what happened, then you need to find out who they are. They're still out there. And continue to do so. We don't know this mind control works. We can just drop this without finding what really happens. You even understand what you're saying, we lose every... No, that's not gonna happen. I think doubt. I think that's the most logical. Right? Or deflect. Doubt? That's assuming the person can continue to do so. You said so yourself, you haven't found any evidence to prove your theory. We don't know how this mind control works, and we don't have enough information. Do you guys want to know what a snake dream means? No, not at all. Some of my dreams I once died by gunshot in front of my best friend. Oh, yikes. We can't just drop this without finding out what really happened. I suppose you're right. But I doubt there was any goal to this. There must be a snake in your boot. Oh no, not the boots. I've been investigating these murders for months, and I've never been able to find any personal clues as who the perpetrator is. There's no way to connect them to this. Assuming because it's a nightmare, you have a fear of snakes or something similar. I'm probably not gonna watch a movie. Whoever did this was a sadistic individual who wanted to cause as much suffering as possible. I mean, I don't think she's entirely wrong on that. That is definitely describing Eris quite well. Okay, we need to... We need to oppose that. But then, wouldn't they have also killed Alaric? Is that the opposing thing? That's not true, Steelwind. Whoever did this had very specific targets in mind. Both Prince Alaric and the High Speaker saw you when the murders were being committed. Not to mention, they set a trap for Aster. Yeah, suspicious. What? Let's assume that someone was controlling you. They wouldn't have left Alaric, Arceus, or Aster alive if they were trying to kill as many people as possible. I think I see the connection. Your name has to start with an A and I can't do anything. I suppose you have a point here. But even so, that hardly narrows things down. If someone was controlling me, then they wouldn't need to enter the cathedral to use me. Perhaps you're right, and the perpetrator only wants to murder 3 victims. Well, Eris did need to be invited, so I think Eris did need to be on the premises. Also, health check. Take a sip of water. Your arm. And do a stretchy stretch and look away for 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And posture. Thank you. There's plenty of people who might want to see those 3 dead. The perpetrator didn't need to enter the cathedral to commit the murders. How can we... Post that. No, they would have... Hold up. Okay, no, we don't know... We don't have Steel and Spell Compendium, so we can't check for the trap. The perpetrator didn't need to enter the cathedral to commit the murders. But there was a glyph of contingent. There was a trap, which would have had to be set beforehand, didn't it? There's one thing you're overlooking. Before the murder started, someone trapped Aster with a force cage using the glyph of contingency. Yeah. But they didn't harm him. It was probably just a distraction. Even so, this gives us two very important clues. The first is that whoever did this is capable of casting those two spells. This means that the perpetrator was a mage. That's true. But the second clue is the most important one. Whoever set that trap for Aster, they did so within 24 hours of it triggering. This means that the perpetrator must have been someone who attended the funeral. Someone's one of them. That narrows down our list of suspects substantially. There's a chance we can identify who did this. And if they really did control your actions, we can find a way to prevent them from doing so again. Seawind, you need to fight this. I can't. What? Why not? Fighting this will put people in danger. If you pursue an individual like this, they might retaliate even more than they already have. They wanted to remove me from my position. How will they react if I try to resist? They might hurt even more people to send a message. It's far too dangerous. Oh. Wait, those guard... I was never let in. That's a stupid argument. Which one? Yeah. Well, we are not sure if Arya called ahead. Someone called ahead to let us in, but we don't know exactly whom. We thought it was Pierce, but it wasn't Pierce. So someone called ahead to let us in. But I'm thinking it might have been Beatrice under the orders of Eris. I think Eris wanted us to be there, specifically. I think this one. Whoever did this has a goal far bigger than you. And you have no guarantee that they'll stop here. 3 nobles died today, and 2 of them were near the top of the political hierarchy. What if they decide to go after more victims? Who will they target next? Your father? The king? We need to catch them before they can do more harm. I know you're frightened about what might happen to the people close to you, but we can't let someone that dangerous get away with this. When you put it that way, I suppose I have no other choice, do I? Yay! We convinced her. I never realized it before, Mr. Qbert. What? You really have a bad habit of butting your nose into other people's business, don't you? Yeah, I suppose I do. But you're right, we can't let this go. I'll find a way to dispute this, somehow. Thank you, Mr. Qbert. I think we've known each other long enough. You don't need to be so formal. You successfully argued against Arya Steelwind. Perhaps I misjudged you. I know I agreed to fight this, but what is it? You're the most qualified attorney in the nobility. You'll definitely be able to make a case for yourself. As you probably know, as Cybele controls the legislative and judicial branches of our kingdom. Welcome back, Sil. I am gonna end the stream after we reach like a chapter checkpoint, and I have a feeling it's gonna be pretty close by, but we'll see. And they've nominated my father as the prosecutor for my trial. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. What? No one believes my theory of mind control. Everyone believes that I overspent my magic and I gave myself mage blight. Oh, I missed a whole bunch too. Yeah, you'll have to watch the VOD because like a bunch of crazy things happened that I couldn't even summarize if I tried. Like 3 people died. Arya thinks she's been mind controlled. I agree because I don't think it was Mage Blight. Stuff happened. Things went down. Two are they are cute. As a result, they blame House Steelwind for Coraline Cybel's death. Now, the only way for him to redeem House Steelwind is to convict me and sentence me to death. I disagree with this death sentence. Hello, Patrick. It's good to see you. Posture check. Hydration check. Stretch check. Look, you know I have a... Okay. Doing all the things. Refill the waters. How's you? I hope you slept well. Okay, stretchy stretch. Look away for 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And posture. Health check told me no, so I did it manually. Oh yeah, because the health check had been recently done. And does have a cooldown, so I don't get health checked. A lot. It's been a very wild one. I don't agree with the death sentence, but also ouch. To redeem House Steelwind would also kind of end the bloodline. Not a great plan. Well, she isn't the only person of House Steelwind. Like, the houses usually have branch families. But he's your father! Damned if they do, damned if they don't. There's no way he would... This isn't the first time something like this has happened. When I was a child, my mother accidentally overused her magic and induced Mage Blight within herself. In her resulting psychotic episode, she massacred an entire village of commoners. Oh dear. No. House Steelwind almost lost everything after that. To redeem himself, my father personally oversaw my mother's trial and her execution. Oh, no. That's... My father values his duty to Vivengard over everything else. Nothing matters more to him than that, not even his family. Yeah. Yikes. I want to have confidence in myself, but I don't know if I can face him like this. Mr. Qbert, what is your stake in all of this? Suddenly they cared about the Well, I mean... No, they don't care about the commoners, they care about the... I do think Arya cares. And... yeah. What? You hate the nobility, don't you? So why are you so intent on helping Miss Steelwind? Because she's innocent. I know she is. She would never be irresponsible enough to give herself Mage Blight. Mr. Qbert. It doesn't matter if she's a noble or a commoner. She's being oppressed by the system and she deserves a fair trial. See, Qbert has morals. He has a strict set of like just flipping beliefs, and his entire point is that it shouldn't matter if you're a noble or a commoner. Everyone should get a fair trial, which means everyone. Well said. 1. I, Remus Fergolay, hereby grant you the privilege to serve as Miss Steelwind's counsel. Wait, really? I will be acting as a judge and arbiter of Miss Steelwind's trial. Oh. It is within my right to grant such permissions. Thank you. Why would you... Do you think I've made a mistake? No, of course not. I'll serve as Steelwind's attorney. She will have me. Of course, there's no one else I could trust more with this. Aww. We don't see her smiling enough. I guess she doesn't have a lot of reasons to smile. And he has a very particular set of skills. Ice is very, very good. Skills that make nightmare to people. And please, you've done a lot for me already. You don't have to be so formal. Please call me by my first name. Oh, they're calling each other by their first names now. Celeste has already taken to doing that. She's a cute character. They are all cute. I like the 3 of them. Since you'll be defending me, you'll probably need this. Hey, there's spell companion. She probably used polymorph. Then it's in there. And she doesn't have the spell to make like a cage like that, so... And she does the firebolt and shaped liquid, so... Do you know what... No, I don't, because I think I know what you're gonna say. Hot enough to inflict third-degree burns, this projectile can travel 120 feet without collision before its magic dissipates. Once it collides with something, it will set the object in place if it's flammable. Hot creature. Oh... Each slash has the might and power of a mage blade and can cut through thick metal armor. It's the ultimate spell of House Steel and its spell formula is closely guarded secret. First name based in an anime game? Yeah, it's only the last chapter. What am I going to say? I'm not gonna say it. You're wrong. And I think... Yeah, I think poor little prince was indeed polymorphed, and you guys might have been right on the money. He might have been polymorphed into a frog. Then it's settled. We will hold a trial at my home, the city of Ladon. Ladon? I've never heard of that place. Speak with Lucio. He knows the location well. Wait, raise the index finger and pinky? So you're basically making a devil's horn. Yeah, I guess so. There's no cute court, there's cute democracy. All who believe Luna be cute say aye. You're damn right. I'm doing right. Kinda is downright adorable. Before you can ask any more questions, the Archduke leaves without a word. He really has a bad habit of just walking away from conversations. I'm not cute. How dare you, all of you. Push diet chat turning into pirates. I guess we should consider ourselves lucky. Even if it's unorthodox, the situation will let us approach this like any other trial. Oh? You had no idea what you were in for when you agreed to this. And what proceeded next would be unlike any trial you've ever been in. But even so, you persevered as you've always done in the name of justice. Regardless of what you'd have to sacrifice to do so. Hold up, what? What did we sacrifice? Game, don't do this. Hi, I love democracy. Thingy of the port bow, thingy of the port bow. Very clever. And we would like to save. Ooh, pretty picture. However, no, we're not gonna do this because it is time to stop because my voice is already giving way. This one. Done. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye!